Hi, Sasha here, owner and creator of The Little Dog Retreat and thelittledogretreat.com. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about 3 things that can literally save your dog's life if you have them with you and present and can administer them immediately when you are, let's say, out on a walk or bring your dog to a park, or if you have them going to a play date or any kind of like pup birthday party or pup party or any kind of the social events that you may be able to go to that are put on, let's say, in the spring and the summer. So the main things, I'm going to show you what I have, what I actually use, and what I bring with me when I take my dogs anywhere. And why. So this is what I bring with me. It's the size of basically a phone. This is a pouch. And it's just a clear pouch. You can use any pouch. You can use pretty much any makeup case. You can get these at, this one happens to be for a planner, but it came with some like washi tape and things like that in there. But you can get these at Dollar Tree. You can get these at Target. You can get these at Michael's Craft Store. You can get these on Amazon, whatever you want to use. This one, again, it's the size of a phone. There's not much in here, but I'll show you what I use it for and the 3 main things that are so important to keep with you at all times. So here it is. It's just a quick little zip pouch, and I've decorated mine. This is spring 2018, so this is actually at Michael's Craft Store. I embellished mine with some extra stickers just in case you want to know what they look like specifically. So here are the items that I keep in here, and specifically a couple of the quickies. Tweezers, tiny little tweezers. These are about the size of your pinky finger in case your dog gets splinters or whatnot, or any kind of like thistle that gets stuck. You can go ahead and pull it out. I do keep literally super glue, or like a crazy glue. This is just a basic, glue. And the reason why is because if your dog does get any kind of deep cut that you have pulled something out of and they start bleeding, or if they're, let's say, their dew claw, which some dogs have kind of a thumb claw, if they're dew claw, I've seen where their dew claw will get ripped off. You can literally take super glue, put a little super glue on it. It'll dry super fast, so if your dog tries to lick it, it's not going to bother them, but you can basically clot the wound quickly. So this is for like a really deep cut. If they just kind of bump themselves on a stick or something and they're fine, then don't do it. But if they have a deeper cut, which I have actually seen, definitely put that on there. The next thing, and this is more for like bee stings, this is a mini type of Sharpie pen. And so this is great because if your dog gets a bee sting, for instance, Mercedes, my Italian Greyhound, without fail, every single year gets stung by a bee. She tries to eat them. She likes to grab at them. She also likes to try to grab like flies and things, but she'll get stung in the face somewhere, and then her face just swells up terribly. And so if you know the point in which they actually get stung, or let's say centipede bites are really terrible, what you can do is wherever the wound is, wherever the kind of the fleshy spot that starts to swell up, literally trace around it, and including the shape of it. So depending upon if it's it's a circle or if it's kind of like a weird shape with the swelling, literally trace it, because what happens as pup parents is we'll see that and we'll think, oh no, is it getting bigger? Is it worse than it was? And we start to amplify it. But realistically, if you go ahead and circle it, or if you do the exact shape, oh, it's actually going down, or it's exactly the same. Plus, when you go to a vet, you can say, this is what it looks like, and they can say, oh, well, it looks like it's getting better, it stayed the same, this isn't an issue, that kind of thing. So that's another item I love to keep in there. The last thing before we get to the actual 3 major things that you need to keep on you at all times on hand are just some boogie wipes. These happen to be kid version, and so they are really sensitive on skin, which is really nice. And so you can get boogie wipes or any other kind of antiseptic wipe that you can bring with you in case your dog, again, does get cut or tears skin, or if they have, hopefully they never get a bite, but if they do get a bite, you can literally wash it and wipe it. If you have water with you, also kind of flush it with the water, but you can at least use an antiseptic wipe to kind of disinfect the area topically before you get home, and actually really clean it up. So that's the first step there. And then what I also have is literally, this is you can get these anywhere, Rite Aid, Target, any kind of pharmacy space, and a grocery store. This is a pill pocket. And the items that I keep in here, the 3 major things that you'll want to keep with you and that can literally save your dog's life are, first and foremost, activated charcoal. I have seen this used. I have used it myself and it is like a miracle worker. This will detox super fast, and it will help the liver with any kind of massive toxin that goes into the system. For instance, if your dog swallows a cigarette bud, or if your dog gets into a plant or a bulb that is a toxic plant, you can literally put this in. These happen to be specifically, these are the gel cap version, and so that's what it looks like. It's really tiny, and then I just kind of shimmy this open, and you can literally just dump it in their mouth. It doesn't matter if it's all perfect. It is black, so it will kind of possibly stain clothing. You'll see the residue on the skin for a day or two, but you literally really can't overdose on this specifically. You'll want to hydrate your dog thereafter, because it will, you need to flush it out of the system, but this can save your dog's life. And then of course take them to a vet. But this can literally be the difference between your dog eating a noxious chemical and perishing versus getting to a vet and have them be able to administer, the emergency care thereafter and save your dog's life. I've literally seen this used. I've used it myself. It's amazing. What you can also do with this is if your dog has eaten something weird and they're doing a lot of vomiting and diarrhea, you really don't know what's going on. Let's say you brought them to the vet, and the vet says, well, they seem to be doing okay. We don't really know what to give them specifically. Maybe they give an antibiotic. Maybe they give them to treat like some kind of infection. Maybe they just give them something to calm their tummy. But you can give them charcoal also, and it will help detox, again, the liver, and help amplify any of that, whatever the liver is doing to help flush out what's bugging their system. So that's the number one on my list. Number two is going to be Benadryl. And this is human grade Benadryl. You can also get children's Benadryl. This is in a gel cap. And again, I've used this myself on dogs, especially my Italian Greyhound. And then pretty much what I do is, this is a gel version. I'll just kind of pinch it with my teeth, and then I'll just squeeze it into their mouth. You can also put it on your finger and rub it into their gums, because no matter what, it'll go into their bloodstream immediately, and it'll get under their tongue, go into their blood system, and start working very quickly. So that's my second one. And then my third one would be literally aspirin. And this is going to be a trickier one. So if you just standard aspirin, and this one, again, I have used, and I administer usually on dogs that I know that have blood issues, or issues that where they've had a stroke in the past. They may be having some reoccurring symptoms, and they start to usually stroke victims will actually kind of start to have a little bit of a wobble and a weirdness. So I will take not the full amount, but I will just smush this up with a spoon, the back of a spoon, or even my own mouth if I've been out, and just take some of it again and just wipe it on their gums. I've used this on my Italian Greyhound specifically because she did have a double stroke, and when she gets a little bit weird about every 6 months or so, I'll just give her a little bit. It helps thin the blood and just kind of helps get everything kind of flowing. Now, again, if your dog has clotting issues or anything else, you will want to talk to a vet about what their circumstance may be. But these are the three things that you're going to want to keep on you in case of an emergency. And again, they just fit in a little pill pocket. You can stick this in your glove compartment. You can keep it in a purse. I like to keep mine, again, in this little carry pouch. Super, super easy. So if I'm going to go out, I just grab it, and if it's in a small purse, if it's in a big purse, it's good to go. And then again, just the extras would be a Sharpie, because if they do get stung by anything, a centipede or bee or anything like that, circle the area and kind of show where the actual space is, if one side's larger or more, wherever the swelling is. And then that way the vet can see exactly, what the space was that was affected, and whether it's getting worse, whether it's getting better, it's the same, but that will really help them determine, what's going on. The other thing would be some super glue, because if your dog does, again, get a deep cut, you can just glue it and then take care of it later so they're not bleeding badly. And then the last thing would be just a little tiny set of tweezers. And these can be, I personally like the little ones just because I feel like they're easier for me to use. I get a better grip on them. You can use a standard pair, whatever you want to do. These are for babies. And then again, any kind of splinter or thistle or anything that your dog might get stuck in their paws, you can just quickly get it out and even dab a little glue or just put a little water on it, and then you're good to go. So these are the three items. Again, activated charcoal, you can just get it at a grocery store, some aspirin and some Benadryl, and your dog will be fine. And then if they do have a problem, rush them to the vet, and tell the vet what you've actually given them. And then always start small. If you have a little dog, I work with dogs under 15 pounds, so I do just a fraction of it. So I don't usually use the entire. With aspirin, it's just like a little, like a lick almost. With Benadryl, I'll use one whole tablet on my Italian Greyhound, who is about 11 pounds. And then on charcoal, I'll give them the whole thing. And I hope this helps, and I hope you never have to use these, but it's good to have on hand. Any questions, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.